What's going on, family? This is not financial advice. Do your own research, man. We're going to be going over some price action, and then we're just going to briefly go over this video about CPI, man. We're going to show you exactly what could be happening with this market.
The month of June, you did see increases on a month-over-month basis, 11.2% on gasoline. Fuel oil did decline by 1%. Food, though, increased by 1%. You take a look at some other components of the CPI as well. Interesting to see the reopening play. Actually saw some prices decline. Hotels and motels down over 3%. Airline fares, car and truck rentals down about 2%. But take a look at owner's equivalent rent. This has been an argument for the more delayed bleed into higher inflation, increasing by 0.7%. That shows an acceleration, actually, of inflation in what is a very large percentage of the average household expenditure, guys.
Is there anything that we can extrapolate this to really show where consumers are pushing back on the prices that they do have to pay right now?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, there is demand destruction in some of those larger durable items. When you take a look at TVs, for example, declining by 2.3% on a month-over-month basis in this report. But again, you look at that headline number, yes, you can maybe make it look a little bit better by taking a look at the core number, but it is still hot, whether or not you look at a core reading or a headline reading. So across the board, there is still a lot of demand. A lot of companies that are supplying either services or goods are continuing to raise prices as of the month of June. But keep in mind, the price declines that we saw, at least in what you see at the pump, didn't start to happen until a few weeks ago. So that really isn't reflected in this June report. That's a reason why you have some economists saying the July report could show signs of perhaps some easing. But look, from the report we got 30 minutes ago, you're not seeing that quite yet.
Well, and I'm also curious, not just are we going to see some easing in gasoline itself, but then the feed through to everything else, because gasoline is a factor and oil is a factor in so many of these other costs, right? Obviously, they have implications for airline fares. They have implications for food in terms of delivering the food and the prices that are being charged. So we know we're already seeing prices at the pump go down. How quickly does that tend to filter through into other stuff?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lag effect to all of this.
And so we can see what sectors exactly is rising and what sectors are not really doing anything, which is flat. So it's not slowing down, man. It's not slowing down. So we could see some rises within the next year or two. So I'm thinking at the end of the year, maybe we might start flattening out. But as of right now, there's nothing stopping this inflation, man. They got to get the inflation down. They're talking about a hike of maybe 100 basis points, but we'll see. Right now, everything is uncertain, so this market is going to aggressively sell off soon. So the market's down 0.53% on a day. The push down was when the numbers came out, as you can see. So we're just gonna get into some price action, man. So everybody's expecting a leg down. So when you see that big old red bar, first thing that comes to your mind is new low, leg down. But the move, it was over 100 points down, so you should expect some type of bounce. So they did wick up. So we started a trend line basically off of this second higher low. So we got a low, we got a higher low, we got two legs up. So that was the 38% retracement, which made the other side of that trend line. And they pulled back to the bottom of the trend line, which was a higher low, another higher low, which started this trend channel. So if you were patient, you could have caught this trade. So the first arrow was my first trade, but I did not. I thought they were coming to test the lows, so I did get stopped out at my entry point. So that was my first loser of the day. So now we have double bottom, higher low, new leg up. We have an overshoot of this channel, which overshoots lead to reversals. We have a break and a new high, and that is a 50% retracement, the first rejection bar. So that was a short entry that you could have took, and that would have got you a nice at least 10 to 12 points off that break in a new high. So they came back Kind of chopped sideways for a little while until they slowly kind of dragged out. By this time I was done. I left for the day, and I was just going to come back later. So at this point, I was not watching the market. So they came back, tested the trend line again. That was your trade. Aggressive push down, and it looks like a short entry, but they immediately blasted back off to the highs, and then they made not a double top. So we got a double top, we got a triple top, 4, 5, 6 tests up there at the high. So that was a key indicator that they're not going any higher. They could not go any higher. So the break of this trend line, they came back, retested it. That was my second trade of the day. I did write it down for a few points, and I kind of got out because it was looking kind of moving kind of slow. So I just kind of got out with a few points. But those are my 2 trades for the day, man. Break of the trend channel, retested the backside, short entry. They gave you a lower high. That was probably the better entry for a few points you could have took. But that was at the end of the day. And they were moving really slow. So double bottom, higher low. That was probably the best trade you could have took. And we're looking for a bounce. I expected them to come to the 50, but they overshot that channel, which led to a reversal. That was probably another good trade you could have took. So trend line, man, just wait for them to test the trend line, double bottoms and higher lows, man. That was probably the best trading you could have did for the immediate push down like that. So just note, when you see a big candle like that push down, expect a bounce, because they're so the sell-off is so aggressive, they have to bounce back up. But be careful picking bottoms as well. So that was my trading for the day, man. It's definitely gonna be volatile for the rest of the week. You got the numbers coming out tomorrow and Friday, so just be careful trading, man. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Out.